Talk. This is Emmanuel Atamba. So today we are going to talk about an interesting topic, which is the integration of agriculture into education curriculum. And with me today I have Mr. Jojo War, who is a teacher, and he teaches agriculture and is here to talk about this discussion with us today. Thank you for coming, Mr. War.
Yes.
I know people have gone for Christmas, but you have chosen to spend this afternoon with us to share about this important topic.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Karibu sana to the show, and tell us about yourself and what you do.
Asante.
Yes.
So I'm Mr. Jojo War. I teach agriculture and biology for high school students.
Yes.
And currently I'm a student again in Nairobi University, pursuing my master's in agronomy. And I've decided to come for the show because we are dealing with a very crucial talk. When you talk about agriculture, it trickles down to our livelihoods.
Yes.
Because everything we do in this life, it depends on agriculture.
Yes.
In terms of sustenance, the food we eat, maybe the clothes we wear, it's parts of the livestock.
Yeah.
So I felt it is a very important topic at hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just before we go to that importance, which I agree with you, I mean, this is very important. But again, the way in which our society is structured, how we impact knowledge to people in our society, mainly through this our formal education system. So, I mean, I know currently we are still running, I think we have both the 844 system running and we have the CBC being introduced. So what is the status of integration of agriculture in our curriculum as at now?
As at now, I feel that agriculture has not been integrated so much using the 844 system.
Yes.
But when I look at the CBC, I think it will solve most of the problems we are facing in 844.
Yes.
For instance, in 844, you'll find that we are pumping a lot of knowledge to our students.
Yeah.
And they don't get the hand skills, which is very crucial in that agriculture.
Yes.
And so you'll see, because they are being fed with the knowledge, they have that stereotype mentality.
Yeah.
That agriculture is about working in the field. They don't know the benefits that maybe you can do agribusiness and maybe become a good entrepreneur. So in my take, I see CBC will bring more benefits than harms. Because you see, in primary, for instance, people start doing science. There is no agriculture. But when they shift to high school is where they do agriculture. And the practical part, you will see maybe it is in Form 4, where they do their 443 project. But you see, CBC will take care of all that.
From the beginning, from an early stage.
From an early stage.
Yes.
So you see, when the students reach there, the advanced stage, they will already be informed with those information. That agriculture is something you can sit on and something that you can do as a source of livelihood.
Okay.
Yes.
But I know statistics that we have, and I think even last year there was an outcry from universities offering agriculture-related degree courses that majority of students and young people in general are not very keen on these courses, on these subjects. So why do you think it's very important that this is mainstreamed right from the beginning? Why should it start at that early age, according to you, from your experience also as a teacher?
From my experience, I can say it will start at the right age, which is the advanced stage of learning, maybe the primary level. So that they can be able to get those skills. Because you will see in our books, the science books in primary, the students, we have various tools there, like the axe. They see the axe, they see the panga, they see the djembe. But something that you'll notice, Mr. Atamba, is that those in the urban areas, they are a bit disadvantaged. Because those in the rural areas, they are familiar with those tools.
They interact with them.
They interact with the farmers. But in Nairobi and these other urban centers, you'll find that they only interact with the finished product, and they don't know how it was planted for it to reach there. So
basically, if it is in the curriculum, then we can say for sure that all children, regardless of where they're growing, they are able to take up the skills and learn from that early age. And you know, a lot of young people that I talk to when we talk about agriculture, and there's a very wrong perception of agriculture, because again, even those children that you are saying in the rural areas who interact with the axe and interact with the panga and interact with the djembe, they see it as punishment. So in as much as it's a very important experience, because I also went through that, and it's an important experience that you learn how to grow food, you learn how to take care of livestock, you learn how to, harvest and handle produce. But it's normally done in a way that is not really encouraging the children also to take that up as a skill, to take that up as something they can use in future. So how does that then now affect the choices, such that you have a student who is coming from Busia or is coming from Homa Bay, in a rural village in Homa Bay, they have been working with cattle, they have been working on the farm, but when they get to high school, they don't choose agriculture. So how does that then come to play?
Yeah, that can come to play. A good example, seeing is believing. And learning by doing is the best thing in life.
Yes.
That's why we have these SSK shows. You see those students, they are back in the village.
Yeah.
And something that you have forgotten, Mr. Atamba, things are revolutionizing.
Yeah.
Those in the village, you'll find that most of them, they're not conversant with the conservation agriculture.
Yeah.
Still, they are stuck to the old methods of doing farming. And they expect this different results while they are doing the same things. It has become a trend. So you see, these who come to the high school, they can from there, because the CBC part, it can nurture them. They see this, maybe it is the fish pond. Yeah. They see them, they look at the profits, maybe the profit margin, because in agriculture, we have agricultural economics in high school. Yes. And you will see we start from agricultural economics 1 up to 5, where we have the production economics, where we talk about the balance sheet, the cash analysis, the profit and loss account, and many others. So from there, they can see agriculture as a good venture. And again, you will see back at home, they, like for example, farmers, they plant maize, but they do not have the records. In agriculture, records is very important. It is very important so that you can trace your profits, maybe the losses. And even me as an extension officer, if you have records, it becomes easier for you to advise. So a good question you have asked. Those who they were back at home in the rural areas, they have been venturing in agriculture, but it reaches in high school, they don't choose agriculture. Maybe the trend they have been seeing, their parents are struggling. They are not making good money. That's why we have the counties embracing agricultural extension officers, so that they can offer those services. They can tell them, you are doing conventional tillage, let us shift to conservation agriculture. And that way they will get the output.
So when these children see the benefits from this, from agricultural production, is when they'll be attracted to this sector.
Yeah, it's when they'll be attracted to that venture.
You have talked about a lot of things in terms of what you cover in the curriculum currently. I think that is the high school curriculum you're talking about. We're talking about the economics of farming, balance sheet and seeing the profits and calculating all the margins and things like that. So can we confidently say that the students who are taking agriculture in high school, can be better farmers than the farmers who haven't gone through that curriculum? So is that, in essence, what I'm asking is that curriculum adding value to these students who already have some sort of experience of what farming looks like, but now they go to high school and pick that subject? At high school level, does it have an impact?
Does not have an impact. I think maybe it has an impact in the information aspect. Yes. Because you see, those who are in high school, they are already informed. Yes. But what they are lacking is the practical skills. So you see, those in the village, they have the practical skills. They can carry agriculture, but what they lack is the information. Maybe it's top dressing your plant, the right time you are supposed to top dress your plant. Maybe they are stuck to the organic farming. How can they incorporate the inorganic fertilizers so that they can get a robust output or product?
The practical part of agriculture, a subject in high school, through I think it's the NEC assessment, after Form 4. What is the contribution of the practical part versus the theoretical part in terms of marking?
So you see, the practical part, I can say maybe it's meant to prepare them, because it covers like a small percentage. That is 80%, because it is under paper 3. And we have paper 1 which covers 90, paper 2 90, that's 180. So you see, they add the 20, they divide by 2, that's 100. So it plays a small thing.
So even at assessment, the practical is not assessed as much as the theoretical part?
No, it is not assessed as much as the theoretical part. And that's why I was saying, this CBC will solve all these problems. Will solve all these problems. Because you see, in high school, most students, in fact in the agricultural field, they read so that they can pass the exams. they read so that they can pass the exams. Because you'll find that a student carried out a project well, even he wrote for you a report well, but 6 months down the line, if you call him to do the same thing, that's when you'll realize he was doing to pass the exam. So I don't think it is adding up to maybe something valuable.
But there are students who will go through that and still come out successful. So what becomes the difference there? So is it that there is need for more mentorship and guidance for young people even after they have gone through this course so that they are able to now put into practice what they have learned?
Yeah, so it's the practice, but again, in agriculture we talk about the factors of production, land being a common factor, and capital sets in. So you see, what I think on my side, the government should implement measures. Maybe this, where the people who want to venture in agriculture, they can form groups, they go up and take loans, because you'll see that those who are benefiting is those who have already advanced. At least they have done some agriculture and they have formed together to open cooperatives where they can get the grants or loans. So the government should make sure, because agriculture is very vital in our economy, that those students who have done agriculture, those practical skills they have, the little they have, they have gained, at least they boost them, so that at least they have that impetus or self-drive to venture in this thing.
Okay. Now, let's go back to, because you had a nice proposal that, you know, this thing should start from the beginning. So how early, and I'm not only looking at this now at this point, I'm not only looking at what you do in the schools, I'm also looking at what is happening at homes and how also parents, because also parents have a responsibility to nurture their children and to give them these skills also. So how soon should I introduce my daughter or my son into farming?
I think, you know, now looking at our current system of education, maybe the CBC, which is up to maybe grade 4, I think it's better, because you'll see that PP1, which is the lower primary, the student is still, the brain is still developing, the cognitive value of the brain. So I think as from class 3 or 4, the student should start being shown the practical skills. Maybe it is a djembe, how do you plow, so that you can break those soil clods. Maybe it is fertilizer, how do you apply, so that the plants, they don't end up being scorched. So I think as early as class 3, it is good, so that they can embrace it. And from there they can be able to make firm decisions, looking into the future.
I mean, and culturally there has been a system. Growing up myself, we used to, you know, when you visit your grandmother, they give you a hen and you're supposed to take care of that chicken, you know, so you keep it, you know, you protect it, you make sure it is fed, you make sure it is watered, so you learn how to take care of your chicken, you know, at that age that you're talking about, class 3, class 4. But now, you know, that fabric is slowly fading away. You know, you have a society where not so many people are involved in farming per se. So if we know someone who is in formal employment, they don't want to deal with chicken, they don't want to deal with goats, they don't want to deal with cows. So what happens now in that kind of setup where now you're talking about introducing these kids? They can be introduced at school, but what happens in terms of the support they get or the platform that they have at home to be able to practice what they're learning at school?
I think the parents should play a bigger role again in supplementing that. Because we can have the fields in the school, but at least parents should make an effort. The children, they go back to the rural areas. At least the holidays, so that they can see, I've seen a djembe, how is it being used? I think that way will help again to boost their...
They'll be crying in the shamba the whole time. I know a lot of children are now in the villages for Christmas. And I've seen even social media posts that they are, they are strangling chicks in the village because they don't know that these are chicks, these are living things.
All that I can say, we blame it on the generation. Because, you know, society is dynamic, it is not static. It is moving. And the way it's coming, we must embrace it. We must embrace it. You see, we are in a digital generation. It's not like us. We used to say back in the rural areas to do some plowing. Maybe in the morning you wake up, you must milk that cow before you go to school. You must take care of those eggs if they are there. You see. So that responsibility, I think the parents should do something tangible which we can see, so that the students, again, that culture of agriculture continues from one generation to another. From one generation to
and not to do it as a punishment. But even at schools, I don't know if this is happening in the school where you're teaching, but a lot of people with the experiences in schools with punishments, especially in high school, punishments are mostly agricultural activities, you know, like removing tree stumps, you know, going to dig, slashing and all that. Is that still happening now, or have you changed now that you are a new generation of teachers, if I can say?
It has changed definitely. With Dr. Matiang'i, things changed.
Yeah.
Nowadays, you cannot tell even a child, go and slash, because that one is not allowed.
Yeah.
In fact, it is something which you call breaching of the law. And you can be handled as a teacher
for doing that
by TSC, Teacher Service Commission, because they have their own regulations and acts and that govern us. Okay. So nowadays, even punishment is not there. We only embrace talking nowadays.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you just talk to the students.
We just talk.
You don't send them to the farm to do farm work when they have made a mistake.
We don't send them anymore like we used to.
Yeah.
Before, we were sending them maybe to dig.
Yes.
You see, when he's digging again, he's putting some knowledge into the mind. Maybe he saw a djembe long time ago. Yeah. Now, maybe coincidence is making him to use that djembe.
To use
but
that djembe. In the wrong perspective, because when they get out of that setup, they will hate digging for sure. Because they will see digging every time as a punishment, and they will grow up knowing that. But I would like us to slightly talk about because when you talk about education, education is holistic. So if I'm in class, I'm not only taking agriculture as an option, but I also have these other courses. So what is the contribution of agriculture in terms of helping the students to learn these other courses?
You see, if you go to book 1 in agriculture, the introduction part, it is always introduced, agriculture is an art and science. So it's something, an art involves a lot of thinking. And a science, remember anything that is a science, there is that practical part. So you see those two aspects, they make them think, and what they think, they put it into practice. So I think it helps molding them and shaping them. It helps, because a good example, I can give an example. There is a student who left the school. And up to now, in fact, the parents were having difficulties for him to joining university. Because he was very focused on aquaculture, the rearing of fish in fish ponds. The brother was well stable. He gave him a section of the land. So he put there the fish pond. That young boy, where he is, he's making a lot of money in fishing, to an extent that a parent calls you to tell you to advise the boy not to lose focus, because education is the key, because he had already passed to join a university. But because of that experience the
and being innovative
so it's all about the mind. You see, everything is about a proper mindset. For us as maybe teachers, we give you the knowledge. We can give you some practical skills. But it's you. Where we stopped, you continue from there.
So given a platform, these young people have enough knowledge, you can say, to be able to practice this effectively, to be able to get into farming and succeed in farming.
They can succeed, because something I'll admit, any person who is literate, you can just read. By taking agriculture textbook, the KLB, from 1, 2, 3, and 4, you can be a millionaire. Because everything is detailed there. If it is about beekeeping, if it is about rearing the fish in the fish ponds, everything is there. So it's all about passion and that self-drive. And again, that capital, because that is what speaks volume for your things to be, to move the next step.
There are people who are seeing now, we are talking of a digital generation, and the fact that, you know, everything that we are doing is digital and everyone is moving towards IT and IT-based, you know, careers. What would you advise parents based on that, in terms of, you know, how can you convince a parent that, I'm sure that, I don't know if students still take options at Form 3, that when students are going for options, how do you convince a parent that a student should be able to take agriculture? And the parent can allow that to happen? Because I know a lot of parents have some sort of resistance. I don't know if that is your experience.
Yeah, that's true. But in the generation which you are, you cannot force a kid maybe to do business studies while the heart is in agriculture. You see that? So because we call it passion, you can force your child to do maybe something he's not interested in, because you are thinking agriculture is too dirty. You're looking at the aspect of dirty work, going to the farm and doing some plowing, but it is not that way. So parents, they should just embrace what their students have chosen for it to be easy for them. Because maybe it is their passion, you never know. And maybe you might be killing their passion because you want them to do this one. And then the other thing, maybe transiting to the universities. You know, to join a university, you have to reach a certain cluster point. And if maybe you chose that course to do, I don't see how your parents should come in to change your mind, because you chose it because of passion. Because of passion. So mine, maybe an advice, a piece of advice I can give the parents. Embrace those kids. Embrace their careers. It can be agriculture. It can be art or drawing. Because at the end of it all, they are doing that so that they can be able to become independent in the future and be able to put maybe something on
and they might be different from you, slightly different. You might be their parents, the DNA is correct, but they might be thinking differently and gifted differently from you. But now when we talk about when you talk about transiting now to the universities, I told you before there is that cry out there that students are not embracing agriculture courses from high school now going into university. Even those students who took agriculture in high school, some of them would want to still divert at some point and get into other more interesting careers. You see, that aspect is because of knowledge. They lack that information. Because you see, maybe, I think that information, that's why, you see, when you have that CBC, the students, they will have knowledge as early as class 3. So you will know agriculture is this way. Remember that still in class 3, we cannot say your brain is still developed, but at least you have the information. So when you reach maybe the high school, the upper part, you can be able to see, oh, this is agriculture. This is how it is done. These are the careers.
This is the career. So transiting to the university, it becomes easy. But someone has been just doing agriculture from Form 1 to 4. And maybe he's doing because, you know, agriculture is an easy subject. In fact, it is the easiest in high school. It is the easiest. So somebody is just doing maybe so that I can join the university because maybe he's looking at the points. This one is a straight A. So that mentality, I think people should focus away from it.
But when you talk about information, a lot of children today, if you ask them if they know any careers that are related to agriculture, any agriculture careers, you know, they would not be able to tell you. You know, we have careers that, you know, people talk about at household level, you know, at the dining table. People talk about being doctors. People talk about being engineers, being lawyers. Those are the careers that people discuss at home. Rarely do you have people talking about being an agriculture extension officer. So how are students supposed to get this information? And again, teachers, a lot of teachers do not understand also that there are these opportunities that they can encourage their kids.
So that is a very good question. And maybe I'll use myself as an example. When I wanted to grow up, I wanted to be a political science. I was between political science and being a lawyer. But that's where the aspect of a teacher comes in. Thanks to my agriculture teacher. It took me, after doing my Form 4, we went through those courses. We went through those courses one by one. And after looking at how explaining that aspect of information, I was able to discern, I'm going to Nairobi University, doing one course, agricultural education and extension. Because earlier before, I had been packed with the information. I know this course, how is it, what is the extension part, what is the education part, and their values and their importance. So that should start with the teacher. The teacher is the one to set pace. Yes, they are doing agriculture. How will they help them? Which are the courses they are likely to take before they join university, so that they just don't go to a world where they feel they are neglected in terms of the career path. So I think the teacher aspect comes in there in terms of mentoring. You mentor the student, you tell him this course, do this one. The benefits, they are here. So when you have the benefits and you have the correct information, I think their discerning becomes a very easy task. You are able to sit down and think well and come with conclusions. I'm choosing that because of this reason. And
because of these reasons. And then from there you are able to again fit, because again when you go to university, you know, some students will go in for first year, second year, but then they'll still not be able to understand the exact path, because I mean, it's not an easy way to know if you are doing, for example, a course in agriculture. It doesn't really tell you exactly where you're going to land. You can land anywhere because you're exposed to a lot of things. But that mentorship aspect, I think, is very important, which you've brought up, and being able to find that guidance of a teacher to guide you and show you towards the right direction. So I think what I would like to do is maybe before we go on a short break, I would just like you to highlight a little bit in terms of what the CBC tries to offer in terms of agriculture, especially from the earlier classes.
Okay, so CBC, the name CBC, competency-based curriculum.
Yes.
So there it's all about hand skill. The student, what is learning in the book, you can be learning of a djembe, but how do you use it? So CBC, I think, will change many things. Because a student learns of a panga, how can he use it? A student learns, maybe, we have this cow. Where is it? How do we do milking? Instead of reaching from 4 so that you can know the right way to do milking. So I think CBC will address all these gaps if it is well implemented. If it is well implemented. Remember, still we are in our trial phase. It has not been achieved fully. So I think the implementation is what will matter going forward.
So in terms of materials and in terms of that content development, you think that it's possible to integrate agriculture from that early stage using this CBC curriculum?
Very possible. Very possible. As early as grade 4, we can implement it fully. But again, implementation, because remember, it is competency-based curriculum. For it to be competent, we have to have those. Maybe it is practical. Remember, we have to have those cows in school. So the government should address those gaps. Because you cannot be telling a child in Turkana, this breed, we have Fresian, and he has never seen it. So we have to have it so that if it is milking, the gentle milking, how a man must milk the cow, they are being shown there. And by learning, by doing, it is able to stick in the memory.
Okay. So thanks a lot. I think let's go on a short break, and then when we come back, we're going to expound more on that and what are the solutions and what are the options, especially for parents who are very keen and they want to actually bring their children up knowing about agriculture, knowing about farming. So don't go away. We are coming back with more on this discussion. Yeah, welcome back to Agri Talk. So today we are talking about integration of agriculture into our education curriculum with Mr. Jojo Ward, and he has shed a bit of light on what is happening, and we'd like to continue with this discussion. So, Mr. Ward, I want us now to look at what is happening in terms of the current curriculum and looking at the developments in the sector and the trends. So is the curriculum matching those developments and the trends as it is now?
I think the curriculum is not matching because you have gaps. You have gaps. Because a student starts learning agriculture from Form 1. And you'll see that because of resources, you'll find that most schools, they are only able to use that practical skill when they are doing the project in Form 4, which is very dangerous. Because you have those things like maybe you'll see where they are doing things to do with the nursery management practices. You'll find that things like erecting a shade to those seedlings, maybe in the nursery, it becomes difficult there. And so you see, for this curriculum to be effective, the current one, which you have 844, it did not address those gaps. But thanks, if I said one thing, having a curriculum is one thing, but the implementation is everything. Because if the resources were lacking in 844, the government should make sure, because they want this new curriculum to be effective, they should make sure the resources are there.
So in terms, if there are resources, do you think now that new technologies and new innovations will be able to be mainstreamed through this curriculum?
Very true. Because you will see how students are creative. I had seen someone had in those where we plan to eat, Kericho. A student had gone innovative, a Form 3 student, in creating a scarecrow, which was somehow electrical. You see, at that level, he's able to make that with the limited resources. So you see, if you provide him or her with the right resources, that becomes the element of nurturing that student to the right career
so path. That they are not only able to farm, but also to be able to be a solution to the problem.
To be a solution to the problem.
So for example, we had the fall armyworm last year. Have you taught your students about the fall armyworm?
I've taught about them. I've taught about it.
In as much as it's not in the curriculum, it's not in the textbook.
It is not there. You see a teacher, being a teacher, you are not only limited to the textbook. You must be creative. Like things like the MLND, maize lethal necrotic disease, is not in the textbook. But when you are explaining something like maize streak disease, you see the effects that MLND causes, they are close to that one. So you will have to explain to a student
so that they are able to distinguish.
They are able to distinguish and differentiate. This crop is suffering from MLND. This one is maize streak. You see? So you are not limited to the syllabus. You have to think outside the box, and that's why you are a teacher.
So it's possible now, we can say, of course, I know not all teachers will be doing this, because some teachers will be sticking to their notes, you know, and trying to follow through their notes and maybe finish the syllabus in time. So, but when you talk about bringing in new information like current happenings and all that, in terms of technologies, how much exposure do students get to new technologies, apart from, of course, taking them to the agriculture shows?
I think they don't get much exposure. Because me as a teacher on my side, I can say maybe in terms of the technologies, maybe we are talking about milking. Maybe I can take my time to take them to Brookside so that they can see the milking machines which use electricity. But you'll find that the resources are limited. You have to go there. Maybe they will tell you, come with a certain number of students. And maybe you have like 300 students. Where will you leave the other ones? So I only feel that shows are the ones which are serving the purpose, though not fully in terms of technologies, because it's something that happens once maybe in a year, and we have to wait for the other year for other learners to get the same practical
experience. So and now that we are in a Christmas mode and people have gone back to the village, how are parents supposed to be dealing with students vis-a-vis introducing them to agriculture without again making it a punishment? So how, if I have my son or my daughter who is maybe 10 or 15 years and they are at home, how can I involve them in agriculture work. Again, not making it child labor, you know.
I think in that aspect, I'll bring the aspect of tone variation in English literature.
Yes.
Because how you command that voice is how it will sound, whether it is a punishment or not.
Yeah.
Parents can be creative. Someone is going to the farm.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a cousin there. You ask your son, can you go with him? You see what he's doing.
Yeah.
You will go the first day. You will go the second day. The third day. You will find him embracing. Even you will be surprised. So it's that about aspect of being creative and checking on the tone variation. If you call your child today, endo fanye hii, that one alone, the tone alone shows that one is like a punishment. Yeah. So I think parents should embrace that. Yeah.
So when you are talking to your child and telling them to do something in the farm, you really need to watch your tone so that it doesn't look like, it doesn't have a negative effect than the positive effect you are looking at.
Yeah.
But what are some of the activities that children can be comfortably involved in?
Like maybe comfortably involved in. You know, in agriculture we have so many things.
Yeah.
They can be going home. Maybe it is the harvest time. They are being shown how to remove the maize, the cobs, the threshing part, maybe beating them in the stick so that we can remove those maize. The drying part, it is done this way.
Will they have hands when they go back to school?
They will have it. You see, that one is easy. You cannot, that one you cannot compare it to plowing. Because when they go to plow, it means most of them, they will come back. Their fingerprints, they will not be there because of that force. But these other aspects, removing a cob, it is easy. And you'll find that most of them, they get to enjoy because they take them, some of them will start roasting them. And that becomes idea, it becomes creativity. And they will learn to embrace it.
But this will be the mainstream things, the mainstream farming activities. Like we have talked about maize, we have talked about milking. So this will be the mainstream, the main value chains. There are emerging value chains that children do not have an idea about. Like, for example, when you're talking about traditional vegetables, they don't know about, you know, the managus, they don't know about the spider plant, they don't know about the amaranth. So these are emerging things, like we call them sometimes neglected crops, I think, So these are crops that people do not normally grow, but they have high value, and you want your children to have an idea or two about how to go about them. So what would you say about that, so that we do not raise children again thinking that agriculture is all about growing maize?
Yeah, that's true. But again, it depends because you have to be diverse. You see, our children are experiencing these problems in terms of the vegetables. Because even me, I can give an example myself. I only grew up knowing 3 types of vegetables: skuma, spinach, and cabbage. The reason being, those are the ones. If at all I'm being sent maybe to the shamba, go and remove them. But if we embrace these other crops as early, because learning starts early. You cannot wait someone to reach here so that he can know that crop. As early, he knows this one is manago, this one is terere, this one is mchicha.
And also know how to cook them.
And how to cook them. Because, you know, again, when you come to the vegetables, we have so many effects. You can cook vegetable, you think you are eating the right thing. You might end up eating nothing. Because of that boiling, steaming. We only steam vegetables. We don't cook. Because remember, we are looking for the vitamin C. And when the temperatures are too high for a long period of time, you'll be eating nothing. So I think that early learning is very impactful to them.
Yeah, for sure. And so this idea that has come up, and I think the government is also fronting, I think 1 million kitchen gardens. The gap that we talked about in urban areas, that, you know, kids do not have enough exposure when it comes to farming and food production. So do you think that the idea, for example, of having kitchen gardens can serve that purpose, to at least get these kids to be able to see how food is grown?
Yeah, it can serve. But again, if it is done well, because you will see that in urban areas, you have that problem, a lot of contamination. You don't do those things in a clean way. So if you don't do them, it means that the child will grow up knowing that this thing is being done this way. We cannot compare to the village level. Like, for example, here in Kibera, I saw people, they have embraced that type of farming. But what happens? They go and the water for watering, they pick it from the sewage. You see that one, it already has a lot of chemicals. So remember, it is a trend. Your child has grown knowing that that's where we pick water. So that's why I'm saying those urban gardens, they are very effective. If the correct information, and another thing, if people choose to remain self-disciplined. It will work perfectly. Yeah.
So that we don't show our children the bad manners. That, you know, you can actually grow these vegetables like this, but when you grow them with this kind of water, we don't eat them, you sell them. And then you buy better vegetables. Because a lot of farmers have been blamed for doing that. I don't know if all the farmers do that, but you know, even when you talk about use of chemicals, and which is something I would like to also to talk about it vis-a-vis the curriculum. So a lot of farmers have been blamed. You know, people are saying, you know, farmers have two pieces of land. They have the piece of farm where they grow for sale, and then they have a piece of the farm which they grow for their own use. So when kids start to see this, then it becomes a culture, and you can't unlearn. I think that you are an expert in that psychology. If you learn something, unlearning it becomes even more difficult, So I like that idea that, I mean, let us do it, but let us do it the right way. Our curriculum itself emphasizes a lot of use in terms of, because there's really very little in that agriculture curriculum, especially the high school one, that focuses on use of locally available resources, you know, things like organic farming, use of manure, compost manure, farmyard manure. For example, if you look at how to grow maize from the textbooks, you know, it starts with the DAP and all that and up to the end. So what is happening in that level? Is there a possibility to incorporate these other incoming ideas like agroecology and farming with nature, for example?
Yeah, so you see, I think there we have a big gap. Because you see, what our textbook has tried to address is the returns the farmers will get. Because you will realize something like the manure, the residual effect is short. You will put it there, but the nutrients, the plants will take a long time to access them. So they opt to use the inorganic, the DAP, the CAN, because the nutrients availability is easier. And again, depending with our climate, remember we have those things like leaching, those aspects where the minerals, they go to the lower horizons of the soil. It becomes difficult for the plants to access them. So I think depending even with this agroecological, because you know the society is changing. We have issues of global warming, where we don't have drastic rainfall. Our rainfall patterns have changed. So we have to come up with new ways and be creative so that we stop maybe thinking of rain-fed agriculture. We do our irrigation. So that one, I think,
we build the environment in which we farm.
We build the environment in which we farm.
Because I believe it will be very important now to have those concepts already integrated in that education system. And I hope the CBC, as we have said, will be able to address those and be more local, as you said. You don't go to this community that doesn't practice fish farming and you know, force them to learn about fish farming. You teach them something that is relative and relevant to them. So thanks a lot for coming, but you know, maybe a few words to young people out there who are taking agriculture.
So my few words to the young people coming there. Mostly my focus on the youth. Agriculture is a good venture if you have the right information. Because I know many youths, they have information that agriculture is getting your hands dirty. But something that I want to remove from that perception, that one I call it a stereotype mentality, which has been there and it has served purpose for years. Agriculture is an act that if you do it in the right way and you be disciplined, you will end up enjoying in the future. So young people out there, don't shy. Come up with your ideas. And nowadays it's easy. There are a lot of cooperatives. You can join with more than 10 people and you pay in bits and you do your venture in agriculture. So young people, I want to say one word. I want to say the following. Think outside the box. Because at the end of it all, we are talking about having sustainable livelihoods. But if you look again at our SDGs, the Sustainable Development Goals, and MDGs, the Millennium Development Goals, we will see agriculture is in those two. And those are what drives every economy in the world. So young people, you should embrace agriculture and do it well. Don't do it for money. Do it for passion. And when you do it something for passion, you will benefit from it and you will have the best output. So that's my advice for the day. In short, embrace agriculture.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jojo, for coming. And that has been our time for today. I hope you have learned one or two things. You can share your feedback with us, AgriTalk, You can also follow us and continue to follow these discussions. If you missed any bit of this discussion, you can find it on YouTube. So thank you again. I'm Emmanuel Atamba. See you next time. Bye.
Chrome Gin, Cane Extra.